microphone. It's over there. Let me grab it. All right. Sorry about that, you guys. Testing. Okay. I'm gonna try to keep the tone kind of calm, so I can keep the microphone closer, which makes the microphone better quality, the sound better quality. So, because it's more of an echo in this room. Ultimately, I want to be in a studio where it's soundproof. It's got all those, foam around the walls. But anyways, thank you so much for being with me tonight, you guys. This is a time where we come together twice a week, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Tuesdays and Saturdays. So thank you for spending your Saturday tonight with us, you guys. It's a blessed communion, Christic communion that we have together. It's our group of star seeds and indigos awakening to ourself, awakening our soul. Now, there's all kinds of different ideas about what is the soul, tonight's topic. All kinds of different religions have different definitions, concepts of what the soul is. Even spiritual systems have different ideas of what the soul is. There's all kinds of distorted ideas that think that you can lose your soul. When you find out what the soul actually is, you realize that's impossible. You can't lose your soul. First of all, just as a quick spoiler, the soul is fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensional consciousness. You're not losing that. No one can take that. You can't give it. You can't sell it. Those are levels of your spiritual anatomy. The heart, fourth, the throat, fifth, and the third eye, the sixth. This is your soul. Okay, these chakra templar, bringing in those dimensional frequencies, which you're trying to activate in this lifetime. You're trying to activate the heart, soul level, the throat, soul level. Now, it's overkill. You don't need it to ascend, but the sixth soul level. Actually, if you want to go to 5D, you definitely want this third eye open. So this is a lot different than what people are believing in religion about what is the soul. The soul is, one thing that we can agree though with is that most people inherently believe but forget. People believe that the soul went into the body, but forget about that. Because they start thinking this is who they are, not the soul, which is consciousness. The body is an extension of you, but it's not the true soul essence, because it's kind of like if you go to a Halloween and you're wearing a costume of some different type of, persona, that is not you. Okay? You're within that's the true self. It's the same with the soul. You're not the body. That's not who you are. The body can die and decompose. Okay? The soul will leave the body. And it regularly leaves the body. This is who you are. You are the soul essence. And this is just a vehicle for that soul. And so it's temporary. You won't always be the soul level. You actually will graduate from the soul, and that is not like kind of like most people think that's what's connected to heaven, or it's your soul that goes into heaven. As once again, the soul is a level of consciousness, and just like the soul, or the concept of the soul is a distortion here on earth. Well, so is heaven also a distortion here on earth. And so is God, by the way. Ideas, definitions are of what they think is God. When you think that a burning, angry Father God that punishes and judges and sacrifices is God, that's a distortion. That's not creator. That's not the source of everything. And so it's the same thing with the soul. So we have to have discernment. We have to be very mindful. And tonight's video is going to be about the Christic point of view about the soul. And so I welcome all of you guys, different ideas and beliefs. You can even disagree with me in chat as long as you are mindful and respectful to others' beliefs. Don't be profane and cussing and stuff like that. You're always going to have trolls every now and then, but most of the time it's pretty easy going here. And this is why I also have moderators, and they help to moderate the chat because I can't always look at and read the chat. I'm here trying to teach. I'll use my diagram. I'll be just going off the top of my head. And so this is actually kind of like the center of ascension as well. The soul is what we're trying to reclaim. Okay, we're trying to reclaim the fourth, the fifth, and the sixth dimensional level. We're trying to activate the heart chakra, the throat chakra, and the third eye. Those are spinning vortices. Those are gateways to these levels of creation, to levels of identity, of spirit, of energy, frequency. And so thank you guys for being here with us tonight. Let me say hello. Well, let me light up first and say hello to everybody. Have a peaceful, calm, you would say conversation, right? I didn't add water. Sorry. Let me get my water. It takes a couple seconds. Too right. All right, you guys. Thank you for that. I also take a supplement like twice a day, and this could be beneficial to anyone. Turmeric, and this is something that I use regularly every day, and also ginger. I've been using these for the past year on a regular basis, and it really helps with inflammation. So let me just do that real quick. Since I didn't do it, let me do it right now. Might as well. And you can really feel these. I mean, like it's got spice or something. It's the garlic. I didn't mean to say garlic, I meant ginger. And somebody in the chat recommended that I try lime. And I am trying lime. Check it out. So lime or lemon, whichever's you feel more. And I also have a couple of friends with me. Ooh. This is my petrified wood crystal ball. I keep behind my bed for myself and my twin flame, and we always have these frequencies near us during our dream state. This is a powerful stone, and OMG, you can feel the frequency for sure vibrating. Also got a piece of selenite, not clear quartz. I got that, but this is a different, little bit different energy. I like how it's picking up the light there. So, and these are conscious beings. They're alive. They're spirit, just like you are. You guys know what this is? Rhodonite. Also a very cool stone. One of my favorites. Very condensed type of stone. I feel that energy as well. It's got a very unique frequency. And you could just sit there and meditate and co-create. Just like you have someone next to you, you're within their field. Unless you go walk far away, right? Same with the crystal. You have this crystal within your field. And I like different grounding stones, but this one's hematite. Any type of black stone like obsidian, tourmaline. This one is, and it was interesting. Me and my girlfriend, we went to a drum circle and somebody just gave us a crystal and one of them was tourmaline. But this is a crystal ball tourmaline, and these are always good for grounding and protection, defense. I mean, you protect yourself, but if you have something like a crystal nearby assisting, let me do the actual incense. Okay. It's always important to have that spiritual hygiene, a spiritual cleansing, purifying bath. And I do that regularly with, like every single day, I'm using incense. Unless I skip one of my mastermind or meditations, generally I'm doing it every day, so. Which is the time I also do my Maharic seal and the mentor technique. That smells really good. Some gold copal. Oh, this is white copal. And some amber. Chunk of amber. It almost looks like fudge, like something you can eat, like dessert, but it's not. It's a resin, fine, luxurious resin. Very strong scent. Like it's very. You'll see it right now. All the smoke coming up. That's coming from the amber. Very strong. I can smell it. Hygiene, spiritual hygiene, cleanse and purify your aura, your light body, your space. You can hear it pop, sizzle, melt. Usually you can just keep it down on the floor and walk around it. Wrong glasses? Yeah. Sorry. SM Holder, one of our moderators. Welcome, Sarah. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you for watching the community tonight with us. Good to have you. We also have Georgina. Welcome, Star Sister, regular here. She's one of our members. She's been here for a few months on her membership. Thank you so much for supporting this work, dear. Happy to have you with us. We have Star Sister Giannis. Woohoo! Blessings to Giannis, one of our other moderators. Thank you so much, sister, for watching our back. You got the goddesses in the house tonight. Magi Celine, one of our other goddesses. Divine Feminine. Thank you, Celine, for being here, sister. So happy to see you. Woohoo! All right, getting us started. Kristen Loves in the house. Woohoo! I gotta do something special right here. Welcome to the team, Kristen Loves. Woohoo! We also got, let me see, Diamond Star. Well, good to have you, Star Sister. Machiwa, love your frequency. UTD, giving us blessings. Been a member for over a year. Thank you so much, Holy One. Bless you. Good to see you. Chase Youth in the house says quit. Welcome. Oh, wow. Free White Dove. Thank you so much. Thanks for being you, she says. Thank you so much for that exchange of energy. Bless you, Free White Dove. She's amazing. She's been coming for a while, but she's always supporting this effort. Thank you so much. This is exactly why you're an example of exactly why I'm doing this full time for people just like you. Thank you, Free White Dove. Blessing, sister. Good to have you in Team Indigo, Team Light. Yes. Indigo Wizard in the house. Woohoo! What's up, brother? Now we got some Divine Masculine. Star Child, another brother. Aloha. What's up, Holy One? Good to see you. Thank you for being a member. We have Zenhol Mind. Zenhol Mind in the house. Sold is a barter. Who is sold out? Well, we're going to be talking about the soul. It's not going to be a play of words, however. Welcome. Sandra Payman, welcome, Star Sister. Woohoo! Sir Madison, one of our other moderators. Thank you so much for being here, brother. Happy to see you. Machiwa. Yeah. Stardust Goddess, woohoo! Got a full team tonight. Good to see you, sister. Wow, I got behind in chat. We got Lauren Wisdom as well. Thank you guys so much for being here with us. The soul, and I don't mean like blues, or chill music, soul music, no, soul, your soul, the soul. Okay, we have this body, and it's a frequency. It is more dense frequency than our soul. So to understand and explain the soul, it is important to explain the ascension, I would say the creation mechanics, because the creation mechanics describes the different levels of our time matrix, of our reality field, a huge universal reality field. And out of all these levels of this reality field, there's 15 levels. Okay? Dimensions 1, 2, and 3 is a universal life field. And we exist within that field. The human race exists within the third dimension within the first universe. Okay? Dimensions 1, 2, and 3. Now, there's another universe, dimensions 4, 5, and 6. This is the soul level. And it is any human being is actually a soul level being that's projected its consciousness into the 3D body, into the 3D earth system. And so that level is called the incarnate. Incarnate, reincarnate. Incarnate means go into the flesh. What's going into the flesh? The soul. The soul essence, the soul frequency, consciousness is going into the 3D flesh, the 3D body. Okay, so we are spirit having a human experience. You can say we are soul, spirit, soul, essence. Sorry for that noise. It's a Saturday night. We are the soul essence that goes into the incarnate body. And it's very unique and interesting because most systems are not going to say it this way or teach this, that your soul is who you really are, who has actually projected itself, yourself, into this lower level, this lower universe, dimension. You are this soul. That's who you are. And you put 12 fragments, 12 pieces of your soul, of yourself, your consciousness. You took some of your consciousness and put it into the third dimension, the second dimension, and the first dimension, the first universe. So the soul projected 12 pieces, 12 lifetimes, 12 incarnations. So what happens in spiritual awakening, all of those identities, they have their own free will. You, brother and sister, here sharing 3D life with all of us, you have your free will, but so does your other 11 pieces, fragments of your soul also, but they're in different time vectors. Each of these soul fragments, soul incarnates, they're each in a different time vector. You can call it a timeline, a time period. The Guardians call it specifically a time vector. So right now, it's now in the 2025. There's another soul incarnate, a soul fragment of you in the Atlantis. There's another soul fragment of you in Lemuria. So you're kicking it here in America 2025 or wherever you are, and you're also kicking it in Atlantis. You're kicking it right now in Lemuria and even in ancient Egypt, most likely. So that is called present time, simultaneous time. Time itself, space-time, doesn't exist. It's an illusion of the hologram time matrix. But not a trick, not to fool you, but that's how this works. Just like when you try to explain how does virtual reality work? Well, it's made up of these systems and servers and programs. Well, that's not dark or evil or something. That's just how it works. Well, this is how the hologram works. This is how the time matrix works. Time doesn't actually exist. It's an illusion from consciousness experiencing these hologram fields, like the hollow field of the third dimension, the hollow field of the second dimension, the first dimension. Your soul essence is experiencing space-time through a lower frequency. Now, in the grand scheme of the time matrix, the soul is actually not that high level of a spiritual, evolution. It's low on the spiritual evolution. You have something greater than the soul. There is a part of you that is greater than the soul called the oversoul. So you are here as an incarnate in the third dimension. You're also, for example, in the fifth dimension as a soul consciousness. But you're also, for example, in the eighth dimension as an oversoul consciousness. These are all different time periods, different time vectors, but all of these time vectors are happening simultaneously. Now, I want to demonstrate this. Let me get something real quick, if I can. So there's this movie called Source Code, but it's not. I'm not trying to talk about the movie. Okay, there's a disc, a hologram. So let's say this is a 2-hour movie. Okay? Well, this entire movie, 2 hours long, is on the disc somewhere. Let's say down here is like, or in the middle is an hour. Well, this hour is on this disc at the same time as the beginning or the ending of the movie is on the disc. There's a scene over here, there's a scene right here, there's a scene right here, there's a scene right here. Well, this is the same thing as your soul. Your soul has projected itself 12 different locations in space-time. You're right here in ancient Atlantis. You're right here in Lemuria. You're right here in ancient Egypt, for example. Or you're here in 2025. You're going to be here in the year 4000, the year 4300 AD. Your soul has put itself simultaneously in this movie. They're all those scenes, time vectors, are playing at the same time. And so this is what's happening when you have a past life memory. When you start to become psychic, which is a natural process, you start to awaken yourself, you start to focus on spirit, you focus on your higher self, you focus on meditation, you focus on energy and consciousness, you start to become psychic. It's natural, it's normal, it's organic. If you're on a spiritual journey. If you're got your eyes wide shut, you don't see nothing, you don't feel nothing, you're not going to be becoming psychic. It is when you're on a spiritual journey, you're into subtlety, you're into frequency, you're into energy, you're into spirit, you're into God, you're into love. You're going to be experiencing the paranormal, the supernatural. So, excuse me, as I rub my eye. We are, like, I myself can look at my own life and verify what I just said to you. In my own life, I wasn't feeling psychic abilities, psychic perceptions, psychic memories, psychic communications. But it was always possible, but I just wasn't focused there. My soul wasn't awakened yet. I was experiencing and immersed in the 3D. When you don't put your mind there, you're not going to connect. You're not going to activate. You know that slogan or saying, you know, out of sight, out of mind. You don't think about spirit, you're not going to experience spirit. You're not going to think about, put your mind into consciousness, frequency, energy. You're not going to experience it. It's when you start training yourself, going into stillness. When I just did that 1 second, within just 1 second, I feel my fingertip chakra. They're micro chakras. I feel my hand, palm chakra. Just barely touch. You should feel electricity. You can feel. You can awaken and activate it, and you will feel. It's all part of all humans. All human beings are diamond sun. 12-strand angelic beings. Right now on earth, most of that consciousness is dormant. That soul consciousness, oversoul, and avatar consciousness is asleep. But in this Christic spiritual journey, we learn how to awaken that, activate that. You study the tangible structures of the soul. You study the Kathara biospiritual healing. You learn about your plasma body. You learn about all these different chakras and templars and different Hoover bodies. You learn about the fire letters. You learn about the ascension codes. You learn this spiritual science. It's practical. You use it. You practice it. You become good at it. Okay? So, let me see. One second. I just want to talk about some of the things that people think the soul is. Why the soul is, widely misunderstood. Just from historical context. Almost every spiritual system talks about the soul. Okay? Yet, not two systems define it in the same way. Just like you're hearing tonight, it's not what a lot of people haven't heard before. Most definitions are symbolic. Belief-based or emotionally framed, okay? So not structural. This is a spiritual science. It's broken down like practically. God is tangible. The soul is tangible. And so it can be explained. It doesn't have to stay mysterious. You can actually literally experience the soul. That's what these teachings, the Guardian teachings, Emerald Order Freedom teachings is about. Now, I have this sarcastic jerk write in comment. Of course, I had to block him because people continue with this narcissistic or Metatronic distorted comments over and over. Well, you have to let them go. This is a community. I'm responsible for this community. But this person wanted to say that, this is not your teachings. This is a universal teaching. This is all our teaching. And just like someone studies the Bible, they can teach the Bible. It doesn't make it their teaching. This is nobody's teaching. This is everybody's teaching. You see what I'm saying? It's not one certain person. It's not trademark. You cannot trademark or copyright, for example, the innerchristos. You can't even copyright MCEO. I'm not going to use that because Ashiana's using it, but just realize anybody can use this term, talk about this term, use this term, because it's an actual literal guardian group. It's like the Hebrews. They use the six-pointed star. Do they own it? Do they trademark it? No, it's a universal sacred geometry. It's the same thing with MCEO. It's the same thing with the innerchristos, law of one. You cannot say, I own that. You cannot say, this is not your teaching. This is all of our teaching. You can teach this. Brother, sister, you can teach it. I'm teaching it. So that's just transmuting that troll, that was harassing my channel. So very few systems explain how consciousness is organized. This is a spiritual science, man. And so after I go through what people think the soul is, I'm going to show you the soul on the diagram, and so you can see it. It's stronger when you can actually see it. The confusion isn't accidental, you guys. Okay, it keeps people believing instead of understanding. You don't have this like this strong connection or cognizance about it. It's more of some untangible or spiritual concept that's out here, and so instead of really relating to it, because when you activate these soul level chakra, these 3, 1, 2, 3, you can experience the soul, your consciousness, your higher identities, your different lifetimes as a soul. Remember, down here, we're not the soul. We are incarnates. But the soul essence is inside the incarnate, inside the body, the flesh, the DNA template that you're currently embodied in. So, technically speaking, all humans are in the 4D. Your soul is in the 4D or higher. You'll even hear Ashana explain this, that all humans are in the fourth dimension right now. And just so you know, maybe you don't realize it, but even Voyagers 2 talks about the fall. I don't mean fall into Phantom. I mean fall from 5D Tara to 3D Earth. That's a sort of falling, not reverse consciousness. I mean falling from one dimension to a lower dimension. And even the planet, part of Tara, was actually broken into 12 planets. But obviously the one that we focus on here is Earth. And so this is our portion of Tara. And so it is the fall, explaining to you, you can see that we fell from the soul level to the incarnate level. We're not supposed to be in 3D. But because there was cataclysm in 5D in Tara, those fragments were literally in cataclysm and fell in frequency, literally, mathematically, fell in vibration, frequency, into a lower universe, like going through a black hole. It's all explained here scientifically. And so it all fell, and of course it took time for this planet to evolve and to create the solar system and the other planets. And so we have Venus, Mercury, Earth, Saturn, Pluto. I'm skipping. Let me start with Saturn, Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune, Maldak, and also Nibiru, and also Pluto, and also the Sun. They consider Sun one of these cosmic elements. So that's 12. And so there's a whole history. It's part of our forbidden history. We are actually soul beings, soul consciousness. So because there is bodies that fell, soul beings fell to a lower universe, a lower dimension, our guardians, our people, the angelic humans, the Raw Confederacy, the guardian groups, all created this whole giant project, like a rescue mission, like a reclaiming our lost, like you lose soldiers on the battlefield in a war, you don't leave them behind, you bring them back. We're bringing our lost soul fragments back by coming to Earth, creating a genetic hybridization project with the star seeds. The star seeds are helping develop the Earth seeds, so we can create 3D bodies. So the soul essences that are lost can incarnate into those created bodies, go through a spiritual awakening, and ascend back to Tara. In a nutshell, that's basically, it takes maybe 100 pages to explain it in here, but that's basically what it's about. We are soul beings, having a 3D human experience until we can reclaim and return back to our original homeworld, Tara, our original immortal body. Because in Tara, in the second universe, in the fifth dimension, we are immortal. Now, once upon a time, there were some of our race down here was immortal too, but that all changed because of warring, because of mutation of our DNA, mutation of the planetary grids. Now we are aging and like dying, like everything is. But before, when we were immortal, we didn't have to die to ascend. We transmuted while we were still alive. And it was very interesting. I saw a Star Trek episode, Star Trek Generations. There was some alien race that the Star Trek Federation met on the Enterprise. You know, that's the name of their spaceship, the Enterprise. Well, this visiting alien was going through some type of literal transmutation. It started changing its body. And at the end of the show, after it was going through its phases of changing, it didn't disappear. You saw it turn into a flash of light, and then you saw the new form, the new body. That's exactly what humans used to do. No death. No, well, you go through these 12 transmutations, and then you go through the, because we're on another planet, another dimension, universe, we have to go through the Ark of the Covenant passageway and into the, now it's an unknown location in Andromeda. Once it was Sirius B, then that was with the Giza pyramid was aligned before the cataclysm. Then after cataclysm, it was aligned to Alcyon and Pleiades. And then after that cataclysm, there was another cataclysm. Now it's aligned to Andromeda. And so we go through the Ark of the Covenant, ching, and then we're going to there. That's if you ascend. If you don't, you're not going anywhere. But we are souls. Our consciousness is a soul being. What's thinking, what's creating, what's imagining is a 4D or higher soul. I got an itch, sorry. So we are soul beings that have projected its consciousness into these bodies down here, and now you're woke up in the 3D world, in the 3D earth, but it doesn't change the fact that you're actually the soul essence inside the body. When you look into someone's eyes, there's a saying, people say that's a gateway to the soul. You look into your eyes. I love looking into your eyes, Holy One. See his eyes. You're looking in, you see their true essence. They're not this. We put makeup on it, we comb its hair, we put clothes on it. This is not who we are. We're the soul who has memories, who has from all your different lifetimes, you have preferences. You have these skill sets. You have these connections to these higher family levels of yourself. And so it's actually pretty amazing. It's pretty beautiful. Especially when you're on the path of order. You're expanding, which is really about, reclaiming who you were once upon a time. So let me look at chat again before I show the diagram. I don't know why message has been deleted, but I trust your judgment. Well, I see your comment about Meldak is part of Tiamat. It's the same thing. Babylonian, Assyrian, Sumerian, Akkadian, they have different wordings. Maldak is the same as Tiamat. Tiamat is the same thing as Maldak. It's the same thing. And and for those who don't know what we're talking about, we have this asteroid belt. What is the asteroid belt? It is broken rubble. It is pieces of a blown up planet. Kind of like when Darth Vader blew up Princess Leia's planet right in front of her. That was in Star Wars A New Hope, Episode 4. So, if you know, brother, that this planet was destroyed, where does it go? It goes into Phantom. There is a Phantom Tiamat in the Phantom Matrix. Nibiru. Believe it or not, Nibiru is in the Phantom Matrix. What we see, what we think is Nibiru here in our particle matrix is actually one of those artificial planets, just like the moon is artificial. Okay, there's several different artificial things that we think are celestial bodies. They're not. They're actually machines like the Doomstar in Star Wars. This big giant thing in Star Wars, it could fly, it can move. Same thing with the Battlestar Nibiru. It's not a planet. It's called a Battlestar for a reason. This is just like our moon is not a real moon. I'm not going to spend time on that today, but that's another topic. But not only are these teachings saying that, yes, you will hear Ashana say that, you will hear the Voyagers say that. The moon is not a real moon. Take it for what you will, you guys. But Nibiru is not the real Nibiru. You know, Planet X, some people call it Planet 9. Why? With the L? What the hell is that? There's 12 planets. The sun is one of the things they call a celestial body of the 12. But the other missing ones was Maldek or Tiamat. And we can agree to disagree, Holy One. Just be peaceful and kind in our chat, and you'll be able to, you won't be blocked. Yeah, humans did not go into the Phantom Matrix. Let me make that very clear, because there are fallen narratives. I mean, there are distorted narratives out there saying that we fell into the Phantom or we're in some dark place. No, we are not. We just simply went from density 2 to density 1. That is not Phantom Matrix. That is particle matrix. We have particle matrix and a copy of that called the antiparticle matrix. And then there's the phantom matrix. So this is a good point to bring up the diagram to explain some of this. But I haven't finished though. Let me finish and then go to the diagram. I want to finish the different concepts of the soul. Christianity, okay, and Abrahamic religions, okay, Christianity and Abrahamic. These are faith-based models, yes? And so Christianity, the soul is taught as an eternal, God-given essence, that it's created at birth. No, it's not. Your soul, remember I explained earlier that you are already the soul, and that it never had a beginning and never has an ending, you could say. I mean, when I try to explain what the soul is, it's a part of you that is from, it's a lower part of your ultimate higher self. So your soul can evolve and move on, but yourself as an avatar, or no, as an ascended master, as a Janus ascended master, it never had a beginning. It never had an ending. So that's one of the main distortions of Christianity, Abrahamic religions' ideas of the soul, that it had a beginning. And also, according to these ideas, distorted ideas, that your soul can be judged after you die. Which is a total, utter false light teachings, reverse teachings, Metatronic teaching, fallen angelic demonic teaching. No, God does not judge you. You're not being judged. If anything, all the things that you did, maybe there were distortions in this life, you're basically judging yourself. You're creating karma on yourself. It's not going to be fun living through that karma, negative karma. So that is another huge red flag about the idea of the soul, that it can be judged and damned to the lake of fire. That is utter nonsense, you guys, and these teachings transmute that. We're transmuting that. No explanation of consciousness levels in Christianity. The soul becomes a moral object, not a functional aspect of our awareness, which is what I was explaining, that it is, the soul is the higher self version of yourself. and also in this Christianity, this religion thing, encourages obedience, fear, and salvation dependency. So if you want your soul to move on to the heaven, you have to follow A, B, C, and D. Okay? In other words, you have to accept a blood sacrifice contract. That's what that is, you guys. It's a contract of death. You are aligning yourself with Phantom. So that is one of the things that we transmute from religion. This is what your brother Anhazi focuses on. I literally have hundreds of videos transmuting those religious distortions. And the Guardians do too, by the way. So in Judaism, what does Judaism have to say about the soul? Multiple soul layers are described. I can't pronounce these because I don't study Judaism, but Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, so excuse my pronunciation. These are symbolic categories, okay? So symbols, have this meaning, but they're not talking about dimensional mechanics like we do. Fourth dimension, fifth dimension, sixth dimension, that's the soul. That's not what Judaism says. So they have this insightful language about the soul, but not a structural map like I'm going to be showing you tonight. And their idea of the soul, it remains theological, okay, not like experiential or dimensional. And what does Islam say about the soul? The soul, I guess it's pronounced ruh, is breathed into the body by God. And after death, the soul awaits judgment. This is why Christianity and Islam are very close. They're coming out of the same camp, the Metatronic Anu Elohim camp. But they both have male gods, and they both have angry, pissed off, judgmental gods. And they both put down females. They're very similar. They have very similar distortions. So that is the distortion that soul is defined by authority and destiny. No consciousness mechanics in Islam either. And they also reinforce submission rather than self-sovereignty, like the innerchristos is about self-sovereignty. What about Eastern spiritual systems? Some of those reincarnational models out there. Because the soul is connected to reincarnation, so it's important to know it. But, for example, Hinduism. What does Hinduism say about the soul? The soul, they call it Atman, is eternal and divine. We agree. It is eternal. Never had a beginning. When you call something eternal, that means it never had a beginning and never had an ending. It is eternal. Your soul essence, which is really your ascended master, Janus essence, never had a beginning, never had an ending. God is always experiencing many different versions of itself intentionally. God's not going to do something it doesn't want to do. It's doing exactly what it wants to do. Hinduism identifies the soul as the true self. And I would say we agree 50%, because the soul is not your true self ultimately. Ultimately, you have an oversoul, you have an avatar, you have a rishi, you have an ascended master. So ultimately, it's not the true self. It's a part of the lower self, lower identity. So even in Hinduism, the soul is a distorted teaching. It collapses your individuality into oneness. There's no distinction between soul levels, like we talk about, versus higher source fields. Okay, those higher God worlds. And also, Hinduism encourages dissolution rather than integration. We're not giving up something. We're actually evolving, integrating into reclaiming higher conscious levels of our identities. What about Buddhism? What does Buddhism say about the soul? Buddhism rejects a permanent soul altogether. Anatta, they call it. So I have this friend, from the past who's all into Buddhism, and they have all of these, you hear them talk about Buddhism, and you see the distortions, man, from the Christic lens. Because the Buddhism treats the soul as, focuses on consciousness, impermanence, and liberation. And so it basically correctly identifies illusion, but it removes the structure entirely. So, and this distortion, of liberation becomes escape instead of embodiment. We're not meant to escape, you guys. We're trying to, first of all, reclaim that higher consciousness, because the soul is a higher consciousness compared to the 3D awareness, which is what? What is the 3D? It's ego. It's the reasoning mental body. 3D, solar plexus. The soul is higher. Okay? So we're not trying to escape that. We're trying to reclaim it. You see what I'm saying? It's almost like an opposite teaching in Buddhism. Buddhism avoids defining the soul, what does continue across lifetimes. So, this is why you're going to have also different ideas about what really is reincarnation. What about New Age spirituality? Modern distortions, right? About the soul. So there's definitely some common New Age beliefs, and what they say is the soul is pure love. That's the love, light, and clueless. Okay, we talk about the super ancient, you would say, dark avatar war between the Anu Elohim and the Omicron dragon moths. Blue flame, gold flame, clashing, causing chaos, causing death, enslaving other races and planets. Okay, so because of this, which is tied to the universal stargates, is tied to DNA patterns. When they destroyed Stargate 12 pattern, the Christos pattern, when they severed it, when they severed that, well, it created distortion in all the DNA templates below, all the consciousness below, which is dimensions 11 to 1. I could use the diagram right now to explain that. So let me do that. But I'll go back and finish this part. Thanks you guys for your patience here. Oh my gosh. This always happens when I do my live. I gotta change it to Photoshop. Okay, change it to Photoshop. And now I'll switch to Photoshop. So there was a warring in the 10th, 11th dimension. Okay, I just told you the races, warring between the Anu Elohim in the 11th dimension. This is where you get Metatron, this fallen angelic legions, demonic beings, Luciferian beings, wicked beings. They actually literally attacked Ianuhazi through Stargate mechanics. They weaponized Stargate 11 to attack Stargate 12. They destroyed Stargate 12. That's what I was just explaining. When you destroy a Stargate, which is connected to the ascension through the Stargate, well, you can't ascend through the Stargate because it was destroyed. That's why they destroyed it. And that's why they affected all the DNA templates. They actually... all the beings got trapped in here for a while. Between Dimension 11 whatever's with under dimension 11, I mean 12, I mean, dimension 11 to 1. And notice that the soul is right here, right? The second universe. So that affected the soul as well. It affected the oversoul. It affected these 2 levels of avatars. And obviously the incarnate level. So that's what I wanted to explain, that dimension 11 down to 1 has distortion. So what did I say earlier? This whole New Age distortion, thinking that the soul is blessed, is good, when it has distortion. It's not pure love. So that's what I wanted to, I clicked to the diagram real quick. And you guys, one of my moderators, please put my diagram in the chat if you haven't already done so. You guys, this is how I support myself. One of my ways is by creating that product. So thank you so much for supporting this work. It's an excellent tool, by the way. You'll love the diagram. And so sorry, guys. So those are some of the beliefs, which is, none of them are all distorted. Like the soul is pure love is a distortion, though. The soul chose this life, which it did. It is the soul projecting itself here in this life. We are all fragments of source, which is true. The soul ascends to higher dimensions. Some of the distortion is language. The language they use, sounds empowering but lacks definition. Everything becomes a metaphor. No clarity on what the soul actually is, right? Show me some teaching and let's see what they talk about what the soul really is. Come on, bring it on, right? Put it in chat. If you're watching the replay, put it in the comments and then we'll address it. Where does the soul exist? Do they explain where the soul exists? Or do they explain how it functions? Okay, it's easily exploited by channeling in gurus and false hierarchies, which creates, spiritual bypassing, not awakening, by the way. What does the occult and some esoteric systems say about the soul? Soul described as an astral body, a vehicle for afterlife travel. The 4th dimension, astral, is not afterlife. You're still living. You're going to live in the 5th dimension. You're going to live in the 6th dimension. There's no afterlife. You keep on going with life. You're not done with life. So it's not after some life. You never finish life. You never finish consciousness. It never ends. You're always, I'm not talking about just being limited to the time matrix. You're going to end up in the eternal gestalts of consciousness. In the, those huge collectives. That is in line with, that is an orgasm with God, that's in this alignment with Source. That's not a bad thing, to be in complete, utter joy and bliss. So it also, these occult esoteric systems, They consider the soul a manipulatable energy form. So it is energy, it is frequency, and they try to do these dark practices, black magic, occult practices that have to do with manipulating that energy. So it treats the soul as an object. It's not an object, you guys. Opens doors to external interference and encourages external power, matrix power. Okay, ritual. There's books on rituals and hierarchy. This is where the soul confusion becomes dangerous, okay, because it's not just incorrect. It goes into some dark practices. And so, the core pattern across all these systems, the soul is romanticized. The soul becomes moralized. The soul becomes mythologized. The soul is dissolved entirely in some systems. Almost never is the soul explained as a level of consciousness like we do in these systems. It's a level that we go through, which is also considered the angelic level. The soul is the angelic level. The archangel is the oversoul level. So it's not explained like that in these systems. That's why I'm making this video tonight, because there's so many different ideas about what is the soul, and that is not, those are distortions. The soul is part of who you are. It's part of your identities. It's you see yourself 3D, but you see the soul as a higher self of you, more knowledgeable, more psychic, more powerful. Remember, if you're down here, you're one piece, 1/12 of the soul. Okay? Imagine what the soul is. You think you're badass down here, you're a badass. Imagine taking this right here times 12. That is your soul. 12 times greater. Because you take this piece and all these little pieces, 12 pieces, those 12 pieces come together in one greater being called the soul. That gives you kind of like a comparison of the possibility of what you can bring in. We want to bring in more and more of our soul level. And those are fourth dimensional, fifth dimensional, sixth dimensional identities. You have literally 144 different souls. In the greater matrix mechanics, we're mostly just focused on the one soul of our immediate family. But the greater family is 144. So, you are a spiritual badass. This is why I call you holy ones, because you are. Even if you don't remember it. I literally, one time, I called someone holy one, and he said, no, I'm not. I'm not holy. Okay, but just realize you're a fragment of your soul that doesn't remember itself. But the greater level of yourself knows it's holy one, knows it's connected to source, knows it's in a process of reclaiming. So these core patterns and distorted patterns in these systems, it keeps people from searching, keeps people searching externally for the soul. It's deferring the soul to authority. It's identifying the soul through belief instead of awareness. Oh, the soul, I believe it's there, instead of actually experiencing it, having cognizance, awareness of it. So if all these systems, think about it, define the soul differently, and none explain its structure, then what is the soul actually? Because once you strip away like religion, like New Age language and metaphors, something very interesting happens. The soul stops being a belief and starts becoming a specific level of consciousness. And so this is what we do in Ascension. We're trying to reclaim that part of ourself, awaken the soul, realization, soul awakening. Know that you are an angelic human. Know that you are this in this guardian project, trying to reclaim the lost and disembodied souls. And we're actually doing a good thing. We're doing a service. But what happens is that our project down here of hybridization, it gets manipulated by fallen angelic beings who don't want us to reclaim these portions, who want us to, they found something they want through this whole thing, which is access to our stargates, which takes them to inner Earth, which takes them into greater locations. They can travel to the metagalactic core and go into you would say, well, it's going to be taken out of different time matrices. They can get out of this time matrix and go F with other time matrices. And this is exactly why you would say the Brenoa, blue flame, gold flame, violet flame, guardians. This is why they created guardians to protect these gates, so that wouldn't happen. And this is why we got targeted. This is why we're being manipulated. This is why we're being bullied. because we're 3D, but we have beings from the second universe bullying us. Okay, so that's where most of these races from Nibiru are from. They're from the second universe. But so is our soul essence from the second universe. We're just figuring that out. We're just remembering again, and not just that. Like I said, it's not a belief or a faith, you guys. We can actually experience it. We can actually remember Tara, remember our soul level, angelic level. So let me check out chat again. We have Anuhazi, dude! Woohoo, brother! What's up, man? Vato Loco! Thank you, man, so much for your exchange of energy. 999. Talk about power. Yes? Thank you for that. Me and my twin flame were constantly writing down all of our they call them angel numbers, or we call them synchronies. And thank you for that synchrony, brother. I wasn't planning that. I wasn't trying to bring that, but it came into my field because of you. Thank you, Anahazi, dude. Woohoo! Triple nines, baby. We got Georgina passing out memberships. Whoever got her membership, that's your sponsor. Thank you, Georgina, for passing around the Christic love. Yes? Diamond Star! Woohoo! Holy One. She also made a comment. Thank you for donation, so Star Sister. You guys, it is highly needed. This is a very rough time in my life right now. So thank you so much, Diamond Star. I just want to take a moment to honor each of you. The love and sincerity you bring into the space is felt deeply. It's rare to find. I got to scroll over. To find a soul family that walks with such openness and devotion to truth, love, and alignment. Inner alignment. Thank you so much, Diamond Star. Well said, sister. So happy you're with Team Light. Thank you so much. We got Inlo10. What's up, brother? Woohoo! 777. Machiwa Anahazi. Keep dropping knowledge. Much love. I plan on it, brother. Thank you so much, Inlo10. And you guys, I survive off of your donations. So I put the link at the very top. You just have to click that $sign and give your brother some love. And just for 30 seconds, I wanted to show you the most recent shirts that I've made, which also help sponsor this channel. If you don't want to make a donation, right? Let me pull that up real quick. I've made a trippy shirt recently. So let me bring that up real quick. Photoshop. So, oh my gosh, it's still opening, not in Photoshop, but I will fix that again right now. So, be right back. Recalibrating reality, baby. What's up? So yeah, I got this also in like 8 colors. Check it out, you guys. This is one way you can support my work and also get something back. These are a print on demand. That means when you order them, that's when they're printed and shipped out to you. So it takes about 5 or 6 days. It's still on its rate. Usually it comes in USPS. Whatever color you resonate with, check it out. What else do we got? We got there was a, oh yeah, this is another one that people were asking for. So I'm pulling it up. Machiwa Vato Locos. Support, get your Machiwa shirt today, holy ones. Machiwa. Much respect. I got this also in different colors. Machiwa. I also got, one second here, last shirt I want to share with you. We got a Guardian Alliance shirt. Guardian Alliance, the Time Matrix Task Force, 10 million Star League nations. What's up, Vato Locos? In the house. Represent. What's the other one? The other one is Emerald Covenant. Emerald Covenant for life, homie. What's up? Got this unique emerald blue color, because that's what the emerald blue flame is. And so this is one of the ways that you can also support my work. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. Woo! My chihuahua. So let me finish looking in chat here. Kristen Loves became an avatar. What's up, homie? Blessing, sister. Much respect. You've been a member for a long time now, so what's up? Yeah. Bless you, sister. We love you. Thank you for being with us. Oh, let me, I'm trying to be more mindful of questions. Okay, Giannis, I'll take care of that. We'll talk about that after the live. Thank you, sister. And yeah, just so you guys know, there's a big thing going on in Arizona in February and March. It happens every single year. Tucson, Arizona, it's the Crystal Gym Show. If you remember, I was showing you all my crystals here. If you're into crystals, and you definitely want to save up some money, because you're going to be like in a candy store. They have different, for a few months, from February to the end of March, I think maybe some in April, but mostly in February and March, there's going to be all kinds of vendors and big outfits selling crystals. This is the biggest crystal show in the world, in the small little Tucson, Arizona. And we have our brother Starman over there. Blessings to Starman. I used to live in Tucson. I met him in Tucson. And so did Indigo Wizard. He went up there and visited Starman and got some crystals, homie. What's up? And that's around the corner. That's happening soon, next month. So that the early shows start next month. A lot of the bigger shows start in March. But I go there. I like to go there early, like in February. I definitely got to take my twin flame there. My twin flame there. Yeah. A lot of you already know now who my twin flame is. It's not a big secret anymore. It's on my Facebook, personal Facebook, if you want to check it out for real. So, if there's any questions, you guys, Celine or Giannis, please put the question in Discord so I can see it. Otherwise, I just kind of scroll through, look at the different... Thank you, Magi Celine. Yeah. Thanks, you guys. But yeah, this is a big difference in what you're learning about the soul, because those are some of the things that really kind of mess up your ascension process. Because when you're confused about the soul, you're confused about ascension. Okay? And so we are going through these different levels of creation. And the soul is just one of those on the way. Right now we're experiencing dimension 3 of Earth in the first universe, but we're going to go and awaken our chakras, awaken your soul chakras to get to the soul level. Does that make sense? Because you're in these chakras. You're in the butt, you're in the groin, and the solar plexus. This is the Earth experience. Butt consciousness, groin consciousness, sex, and the ego, solar plexus. It doesn't have to be a low vibe experience, okay? But it doesn't compare to this lower consciousness doesn't compare to the soul consciousness. This is a baby consciousness. This is a still trying to figure it out consciousness. This is a who am I consciousness. Okay? This is, I'm a soul, I'm a guardian, I'm Antara, I'm an angelic human, I have these higher levels of consciousness and spirit. Okay, this is a much greater level, very much greater psychic, much more intelligent, much more, remember, it's immortal. Okay, so let me refresh the screen. Avam 662, you make an excellent comment. Most people, most targeted, think they're chosen, right, by God, and very Christian. So this is actually something that is the fallen angelics. They're the ones calling some humans chosen ones. Remember, it's in the Bible. God's chosen people, Israel, the Jews, are God's chosen people. It's a lie. It's a scam. It's an intentional distortion. Nobody's a chosen people or a chosen one. This is now. There's going to be people who trigger to that. There's going to be people who are saying, I'm chosen. I'm a guardian. I'm a good person. I'm serving the light. You're not chosen by anyone, holy ones. It ain't no ascended master. It's not source. Nobody's choosing you over someone else. Being chosen, the word chosen means others are not chosen. That you're better. You're special. You're not better. You're not special. If you want to say anything, which kind of cancels that out, we're all chosen. So there's no such thing as chosen. We're all children of God. Some people have forgotten that. Some people become snobs over that and think they're chosen. And so this is mostly coming out of distortions in the soul level, in the soul universe, which is dimensions 4, 5, and 6. A lot of these programs are coming from those levels and, kind of like bringing those teachings here from, those dark souls. They're literally dark souls, just like there's dark oversouls and dark avatars. But they're capped. They can't go above the 11th dimension like I explained earlier. Between 1 and 11, there can be darkness, distortion. It doesn't mean all these beings are dark and on a distorted journey. It just means that it can happen between dimensions 1 and 11 because of what happened 250 billion years ago. It looks like we have Syrian Star Princess, woohoo! GSF 100%. Machiwa. Thank you so much, Syrian Star Princess. It's not her first time. You've been a member for over 6 months now. Woohoo! Yes! Thank you, Star Sister, for being with us tonight. Thank you, Giannis, for sharing that. Yeah, you guys, let me see that link. Thank you, sister. Yeah, those are my shirts. Expanded Consciousness, limited edition. We got spiritual t-shirt called Inhale, Peace, Exhale, Bullshit. Some spiritual humor. Christ Consciousness t-shirt. 333, all the numbers, not all, but I got 1111 t-shirt, a 222 t-shirt, a 333, a 444, 555, 999. I still want to do a 369 and a couple other numbers. Like I have a 144 shirt. Awake t-shirt. Awake, I'm already 10 steps ahead. What's up? Thank you, Giannis. So you guys, let me show the diagram and break it down. But I have to close those other windows. 1 second. Of course, I closed the one I need, but let me go back there. Photoshop. All right, you guys. So we have God, and this is another thing that happened. I have 2 videos blowing up on my personal Facebook page that have hit over 150,000 each. Actually, let me look at it real quick and see if it's still the same. I'm scrolling down real quick. It's 46K, 168K, and what's the other one? Oh, 23K. And where is it? Oh, 127K. So, yeah. So this is, I'm not sure why I brought that up. I just forgot the thought I was trying to go through. But anyways, this is the 15-dimensional time matrix, and this has many different identities of your own self. Because all beings, including yourself, including the people you hate or love, they all are ascended masters. I didn't mean to do that. That's weird. Ascended masters. All life comes from here. Ascended master level 1, 2, or 3. The guardians call these Giannis. Grande Giannis, Vacha Giannis, and Ram Giannis. And so everything in the time matrix was projected by one of these Ascended Master Giannis groups. So you're a Giannis. Everybody's a Giannis, an Ascended Master. Everybody. Even murderers, rapists, fallen angels, were all coming from an Ascended Master consciousness originally. And so that family is a huge collective, by the way. It's a huge collective that comes into the time matrix. And then this goes into the, you would say, these levels of yourself project into the avatar level of yourself. There's 144 of you here, and one of those project 12 of itself down here, and one of these oversouls project 12 of itself down here, and the soul projects 12 of itself down here. Now, I'm going to open a different diagram that explains that. 1 second. Files, YouTube, assets, and the soul level. So remember, this is like a blow up. Like this is the second universe, Tara, first universe, Earth. Like in this big one, okay, in this big one, it's this part blown up. Tara and Earth, dimension 1 through 6. Okay, Tara and Earth, dimension 1 through 6, blown up. So one of your souls, like I've been explaining tonight, you are the soul. You are the soul in the 4th dimension, or maybe it's the 5th dimension or the 6th dimension. But just as just an example, you have one soul that projects 12 of itself, 12 incarnates. One soul manifests 12 incarnates. Look, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So all of these are pieces, fragments of your soul experiencing the time matrix in the first universe from 22,000 BC, from 13,000 BC, maybe 9,000 BC, 4,000 BC, maybe 196 BC, maybe 2017. Okay? This is who you are. You're a soul. And this could be androgynous. But this soul projects 6 males and 6 females. 12 of your soul identities from the second universe creates 12 simultaneous incarnates in the first universe. So you're going to be living as females and males. Like, for example, male, female, soulmate, male, female, soulmate, male, female, maybe twin flame, maybe soulmate, twin flames, soulmates. So you are literally experiencing 12 lifetimes in the first universe. And so I want to show another diagram here. Wait, what the shit? No, we got it. See this diagram? Well, look at the larger one. This is this right here, but notice there's other time cycles. There's a previous time cycle. Look at the years here. Remember, the first one started at 326 BC because this one ended there and then started the new cycle. So it started, though, 48,000 BC. There's a previous cycle. And all these dates are in Voyagers, man. I'm not making shit up, and some people will think I am. But this is taught. These years, or specific years, are mentioned in Voyagers 2. And so we started coming actually 3 seedings ago. Seeding 1 started a long time ago, actually before this as well. But we have a whole process of our soul going through space-time in the first universe. And so you are this soul having 12 soul experiences down here. Let's say you're here. Let's say you're this identity. You're right now in this identity. Well, this identity can start to become psychic and start to become aware of its Egyptian lifetime. Or maybe you remember Lemurian lifetime, or maybe you remember an Atlantis lifetime. And so they're part of your DNA, man. All of these 12 pieces of your soul are in your crystal body. Like this person is sending information to your crystal body. This person is sending information to your crystal body. They're all sending data back to your crystal body, and it is your crystal body that is projecting your next version. So this is where karma comes in. Let's say this part of you is an asshole or a bitch. Excuse my language. Let's say this is a real distorted prick or bad guy or whatever. Well, this is going to create karma for the rest of you. You're going to experience it in the now. This asshole is happening right now. Even though it was technically 13,000 BC, this jerk off is affecting you now in 2025 because of your, it's all you. This is you, this is you, this is you. It's all part of this one soul manifest being. This one soul is experiencing all of these lessons. Your soul is getting Egyptian lessons, Atlantis lessons, Lemurian lessons, and, America, Canada, Russia lessons. You're all simultaneously. This is why your soul is a freaking badass. It has 12 different lifetime memories. It has all the skill sets from this lifetime, the skill sets from this lifetime, all the memory from this lifetime and this lifetime. And when you understand the greater family, you're actually 144 different people in Universe 1. That's your greater soul family. So you really are a badass. Imagine what you're... This is why you'll even hear Ashana say that your astral self is godlike to what you are here. You could think of your higher self like a god, so to speak. We know there's only one God, but we're saying from an energy point of view, this is so much greater than what you are on Earth. You cannot truly try to understand how amazing this soul level is, much less what your soul level or what your over soul level. If this is godlike to this level, and these are godlike to this level. So you're like a super god. When you consider what super consciousness is compared to individual consciousness, or what causal planetary consciousness is, or what solar galactic consciousness is. You know what galactic consciousness is? Let's say the Milky Way galaxy, everything living. There's trillions of different stars, man, in the galaxy. And every one of those galaxies has trillions of planets and stars. I mean, not stars, 20, planets. And so you have the memory and the mind of everything living in the Milky Way galaxy, for example. You cannot imagine that right here on Earth. What the F kind of consciousness is that? And that's not even the highest. There's a universal consciousness. That means, for example, everything happening in the universe. In one universe. Like here's one universe. Here's the second universe. You have the memory of everything that's happening with every being, every animal, every insect, every microbe, every atom, every molecule. You have the memory and the awareness of everything in that universe. Remember, there's different levels of universes. It's hard to put into human words what really a cosmic consciousness is. That's everything in existence. Everything, all the time matrices, all the universes, all the dimensions. Okay? I won't even try to explain that one. So, it's an amazing thing. Now, let me show you a different diagram. These are diagrams I made in my personal time. So your soul is trying to create the Lemurian 2-strand. Okay? Now the disembodied souls who need that body will come into that body. Your family line of consciousness. And so that strand gets created through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 lifetimes. Let me close this diagram. Well, there's your 12 lifetimes. This this 12 lifetimes equals one strand of DNA. 12 lifetimes equals one strand of DNA. So if you had to do strand 1, that's another 12 lifetimes. You want to do strand 3, that's 12 lifetimes. Strand 4, that's also when you finish it. We're not finished yet. When you finish it, that's 12 lifetimes. Strand 5, another 12 lifetimes. You see how many freaking lifetimes you live just to create some strands of DNA? You're going to create 12 more lifetimes to create your 6th strand of DNA. and then the 7th, and then the 8th, and then the 9th, and then the 10th. Eventually, you're a diamond sun, baby. You're a diamond sun. You add up all these lifetimes, that's 144 different lifetimes to make an angelic human diamond sun. 12 chakra, 12 DNA strands, 12 tribes, baby. You're part. Humans are a super hybrid. You're Polaran, you're Hyperborean, you're Lemurian. You also have Atlantean DNA, Aryan DNA. You have Mavarian DNA. You have Unchechi DNA. You have the starseed DNA, such as Antrian starseed, Brenoa starseed DNA. You have Hebrew starseed DNA. You have Melchizedek starseed DNA. You have Uniseti starseed DNA. This is diamond sun, baby. This is angelic human. But most humans only have between 2.5, half of this one, 2.5. Well, let's go back to Lemurian. Oh, wrong diagram. What? Well, I guess I can go here. The Lemurian only has 2 strands. And the next one is, you see, it's progressive. You're going to go through one, let's say you're right here, you're going to ascend to this, that's what this other diagram is. You have all of these developing a substrand of DNA. And so you're developing your DNA so you can get the first strand. You're developing your 12 lifetimes to create the second strand. You get the 12 lifetimes to get the third strand, and so on and so on. Because every DNA strand has 12 substrands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So to get a full strand of DNA, like this person has 3 strands, that means they lived in Lemuria and Atlantis. You're getting these 2 strands. You're getting this strands from being a Lemurian. You're getting this strand and those lifetimes by living as an Atlantean. So we're not in Atlantis anymore. We're in we're on this level, and we're trying to finish this strand. But the third strand is within you already. You at your station, at your embodiment in 2025, you have all these strands from your past and all these strands from your past. But the amazing thing is, it's happening right now, in the present now, in the moment. So this is getting this strand. Your Lemurian self is getting its lifetimes. Your Atlantean self is getting 12 lifetimes. And your current Aryan self, is living 12 times. Your future Mavarian self is going to live 12 times, and keep on going. You have all of this consciousness inside of you. You are a Lemurian. You are an Atlantean. You are an Aryan. You are a Mavarian. You are an Unchechi. Maybe it's the future or the past, but the real truth is it's in the now. All of this is happening in the now. You're doing your part in the now, and your past selves are doing its part in the now. Your future selves are doing its part in the now. It's all happening now. And you can take that all the way up. Your soul is happening now. Your oversoul is happening now. Your avatar is happening now. Hey, your ascended master is happening now. It's all happening in the now. Remember, the time matrix is the illusion. It's the illusion that it's happening linearly. No, it's happening here. This part of the movie is happening at the same time as this part of the movie, or this part of the movie. It's all happening in the now. And so, this is why you can connect. It's all happening now. Well, this is why sometimes you can, I suddenly remember my Atlantean self. I suddenly remember my Lemurian self, my myself on Tara, myself as a blue-skinned indigo or Maharaji, or maybe a blue-skinned Syrian, blue they call them. So maybe you see yourself as a lion, a feline hominid, ET. Maybe you see yourself as a reptilian or a dragon or a dolphin. Okay? These are all parts of your greater avatar family. It's so amazing, you guys. These teachings are freaking unbelievable. It will rock your world. It will change your life. It will answer many questions that you've had in your life that religion couldn't answer you, New Age or cult couldn't answer you. And it all coming from your connection to God. Your direct vertical connection to God. See, other ideas and beliefs are going to demonize you. Say something's wrong with you. Say something's wrong with human race. There's false narratives out there saying that we need help. We need Archangel Michael's help. We need Galactic Federation's help. We need 3i Atlas help. BS, lie, distortion, disempowerment. They're trying to disempower you, angelic human. They don't want you remembering that you're Christos avatar. Diamond Sun is a Christos avatar, Vato Locos. They don't want you to remember it. They don't want you awakening your 12 strand. They're scared to death if you awaken the Christos on Earth. They want to make sure that doesn't happen. They're doing everything in their power so human race doesn't happen. They're here during the stellar activation cycle. Now it's in the closing cycle. So they come here in droves and masses. Legions come here to stop us from awakening the Christ, the Christos within. This is exactly why they give us false beliefs, false creeds, false religions, false New Age teachings. The bad guys pretend to be good guys so they can trick the angelic human, so they can trick. Machiwa, Diamond Sun, attack on Diamond Sun, attack on Diamond Sun planet, on Earth. I'm definitely making that as a t-shirt, Diamond Sun. On the back, 12 strand angelic human. What's up? Represent. Those t-shirts are code, baby. It's interesting because I used to wear affliction across my body. That's also code. Not a good one. I used to wear skulls and death because it was cool in the UFC. The UFC, they're wearing those affliction shirts. They're promoting those Metatronic death shirts. I didn't know better. Even when I was modeling. Let me show you an example of that. Because it's like effed up. It's messed up. And a lot of us don't know better. I didn't know better. Affliction, suffering, torture, death. I don't see any skulls on here on this one. But this is what was part of myself. And who knows what the F that symbol is, or if you start looking at all these different symbols, this is frequency, this is energy, this is code. Color matters, symbols matter, words matter. designs, I had to let go of that entire wardrobe. I thought it was cool. I was, I spent a lot of money on that. And, back in those days, I had plenty of money. I had no problems. And I drove a sports car. I traveled the world. So I never had any lack. I didn't have lack. I could spoil rotten my daughter. I could go out to eat at restaurants. But I was aligned. I wasn't aligned with my inner Christ, my inner connection. I wasn't aligning to my higher self or my soul mission. And so, and a lot of us, our soul gets messed in with the occult. The things that I used to align with, now I'm teaching against. Now I'm exposing the things that I used to align with and used to study. Like, I can go into the other room because I have all these things in boxes, but I can give you a whole, it's like my own library of occult books, Metatronic books. But I didn't know better. A lot of us didn't know better. We came from those levels. Now, I'm not going to regret that, because those experiences led me to what I am now. I had to go through that process. And a lot of you know my story. I became homeless. So I had to go through that. My soul had to learn the hard way. Hey, sometimes your soul spanks your ass. I don't mean literally, you know what I'm saying? Your soul is going to put you into some awakening. And if you think about this, it's not someone trying to control or manipulate your life. It is the soul making decisions for its own self. Give myself a little car accident down there. Give myself a little broken heart down there. It's you, not some other federation or council or family of consciousness. It's your family. It's not about being judged by God. Your soul is not judged because you made mistakes. What judges you, it's not even judging. What affects you is karma. You made all these distorted mistakes. It's creating that in your crystal body. Remember how I showed you on a diagram? All of those punks of yourself, all those jerks of yourself are sending it. Now you get to experience it. The rest of you can experience what those other lower versions of you experience. I'm not happy with everything I did in my life, in my past. Some moments I'm disgusted with myself. But I am here now. And now those bad experiences are helping me teach about it now. It's like my daughter, man. Bless my daughter. She's been through a lot of hell. But now she can now teach about it. She's a brilliant speaker when she gets into that, she just gets in that flow. It just comes. But she goes back to back and forth to the Christian faith. But you know what I'm saying? It's all within us. We all have that ability to transmute all that suffering, all that affliction, and have something, a healing process in finding your true self. Not all these false light systems. So when you hear me talk about those things, you guys, and you're practicing, let's say you're practicing tarot cards or astrology and birth charts, and you're into scrying and you're into invocating spirits, it's not. I'm not saying things. I'm not picking on you. As a guardian, as a Christic representative, I'm meant to expose it. Not you. I'm not attacking your beliefs. Okay? Your personal choices. I'm simply bringing this code, this knowledge, this frequency here. I'm one of many. It's not about me. It's not about Ashana or Lisa Renee or anybody else. It's about all of us as a team Indigo. Team Emerald Covenant. For life. What's up? Act what you speak. Do what you say. Don't be a hypocrite, right? So, and anyways, people can see right through that hypocrisy. If they don't see it, they feel it. They know something's off with you. So just be your authentic self. Be your hero self. Okay? The best version of yourself. Find it. Activate it. Reclaim it. It's yours. Okay? Remembering yourself is going back into your own personal Akashic record. You will remember. You will have that soul awareness. Okay? Because most people are cut off from their soul. Like, literally. Like they don't have the heart chakra open. Remember, the soul is the higher chakras. Most 3D people have no connection to that level because they literally don't have a fourth chakra. You know, it is star seeds from the fourth dimension and indigos from the fifth dimension and from the sixth dimension who come to the third dimension, who incarnate there. The soul projects itself into the fetus. When I say the soul projects itself, it is the soul projecting a piece of its consciousness into the fetus of the pregnant mother. This is why your soul level makes soul agreements. Your soul level got permission, let's say, from the mother and the father, your mother and father, to create a body for you, a fetus. Now that body is there waiting for you, and it is the soul. It's called the soul integration. The soul consciousness integrates into the fetus. The fetus is biological matter from your mother's DNA and your father's DNA. But you're bringing your fourth dimensional, fifth dimensional, sixth dimensional DNA. 3 beings create a new being, a new experience of life, a new identity. Mother, father, and yourself. Well, the mother and father create the vehicle. But when you put your consciousness, your soul piece, the piece of your soul out of 12, when it goes into that fetus, now it's experiencing that through that body. So that body that was created by your mother and father could create issues with you during your experience on earth. Maybe that DNA from your parents has problems or blocks or became blocked while it was on earth, ate junk food, ate toxic food, had toxic emotions, toxic relationships. Oh, that's now becomes part of your body. You know, it becomes part of your crystal body. You're sending your shit, junk, distortions into the crystal body. Now all your other 11 selves have to deal with that. Sometimes you may wonder, why am I experiencing this problem in my life? Well, maybe it's not coming from you. Maybe it's coming from one of your other selves. You see, when you come down here, you experience personal karma, race karma, planetary karma while you're on Earth. There's also something called galactic karma and universal karma. Okay? Those are bigger levels, but still, you can see that we're all the one. We're all interconnected. We literally influence each other in, collaterally or one way or another. So some of the problems that we have is because of our race karma. All of the freaking bad decisions that our race has made is you experience some of that. But the whole thing of it is you go into a spiritual journey, you become very conscious of your thoughts and your actions. You become responsible. You become accountable. Now you start to learn these advanced teachings. You start to have tools to transmute, to heal, to become a vessel for archangelic consciousness, your archangelic, for your Christ avatar consciousness. But you have to develop this vessel that was created between your mother and father. Whatever distortions that is in your body, within your consciousness. Now you got the tools, you run the mechanics, you learn the frequencies, you learn how to activate levels of yourself. And so now you start to experience a better life than something that's being subdued or disempowered by the limitations in the body. So that's why we're learning the bioregenesis. Body, or bio means DNA. DNA regenesis, DNA repairing, or reverting back to the original. That's what bioregenesis means. DNA regenesis is trying to reclaim it, kind of like you're trying to reverse the reversals. Okay? So I mean, that's literally what's happening in spiritual awakening and ascension. You're going through all of these changes. You're transmuting a bunch of your old distortions so you can have a vessel to bring in higher consciousness. If you're stuck in toxic relationships, you're stuck in junk food diets, you're stuck in distorted New Age teachings, occult teachings, all of that is affecting what kind of consciousness you can pull in. This is why fasting helps you. This is why a healthy diet helps you. This is why practicing the 12 attitudes of mastery and the 12, it's the A and R's. Attitudes of mastery and responsibilities of mastery. That's 24 different things to focus on. Though all of those things are helping you have a better vessel to bring in higher consciousness. And that explains an indigo type 1. If you learn from these teachings, you will realize that an indigo type 1 is always a walk-in. Because the indigo type 1 has such a huge consciousness, you need the first soul to come in and prepare the vessel. So that first soul is also an avatar, but maybe a 10th dimensional, 11th dimensional avatar, or even an oversoul. Sometimes it's an oversoul who prepares the body for this master avatar to come walk in. So it has to be prepared. I'm just taking that analogy a little bit farther. But that's what ascension is. We're preparing the body to bring in more higher consciousness. And then while you're still alive here, you start experiencing freaking badass, miraculous, supernatural, psychic stuff. You start perceiving things that other people around you don't perceive. Like the movie Lucy, remember? She took that blue drug or whatever it is, and then she started perceiving things she never did before. She could do telekinesis, telepathy. She could see aura around inanimate objects and living beings. She could, it was just an idea. It wasn't really a spiritually based movie, but it's just an analogy to help you understand that while you're on earth, you can bring in all this consciousness, man, and be a walking, talking Christos avatar or an archangel or angel. So, machiwa. Yeah, baby. So hopefully you learned a little bit something about the soul. I'm going to, we're going to close in about 5 or 10 more minutes. So thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. It's always important to understand thyself, holy ones. You said, Syrian Star Princess, be your own hero. What's up? Let me see if there was comment or questions. Yeah, all right. So I remembered. Sometimes I don't remember to check. Now I remembered. You'll buy the Diamond Sun shirt if I make it? Yeah, baby, what's up? I definitely gonna make it. No, man, I had these downloads last night, and I was just getting that. That's why you hear me talking about it tonight. I got those downloads. Diamond Sun, baby, Diamond Sun. And I actually want to create a group. Diamond Sun. What was the third word? Was it? I don't know. I just want to create a group and have speakers on there where we come together regularly. And we're going to do techniques together, do songs together and all that. But I want to create those teachers who are out there, Christic teachers out there, like Becca, like Rihanna, like Dara, if she's interested, or, or Nate. I want to bring these powerful Christic teachers and start bringing the community together in technique and songs and just discussion. I want to have kind of like a roundtable group. I mean, you can call it a roundtable of other awakening Christic leaders. Any of you guys can be leaders. Any of you guys can be experts in these teachings. Some of you know more about it than I do. So, but this is like a long time waiting. Like, this is past due. We need to do this. And since, your brother Enuhazi, I have over 500,000 subscribers. So that's a lot of responsibility on my back. I need to be leading this call and bringing the other teachers and guardians who know their stuff. These people know their stuff, and it's not about one person. It's about our team. We're a team. And so I forgot that whole name. It was in my. I made recordings. I don't know about you guys, but I'm using my phone. I can't listen to it right now, but I make recordings when I go into those deep dives in my own consciousness. Kind of like soul. Your soul is up here, right? You're a higher level. So you go into meditation, you can now hear those soul thoughts. And just so you know that, let's say you're going along your day and you have this brilliant thought. It was probably your soul's thought. You are your soul. So the soul will have the same voice you do. Your thoughts will be combined with your soul's thoughts in your thinking. So sometimes you'll have a brilliant thought. Well, that's you, but it's your soul level. The soul level you. And when you start to look at it, you have 144 selves. Well, some of those ideas and thinking processes are coming from your other families, your family of incarnations, called the personal Christos. One of your personal Christos identities. Like a bleed through. Sometimes you just have that specific awareness, and then you start receiving these downloads or thoughts from other selves. And that could go both ways. Maybe some of them are negative, right? But that's the reason why you become conscious in your life, and you're controlling your Maharic seal, you're controlling any negative influences, which the Maharic seal also helps you from your other selves, protects you from your own bleed through of your other distorted selves, if you have any. Maybe some of yours are, like I said, maybe they're part of the, what do you call it, the Illuminati groups, or maybe you've been entangled into the Freemasons or something, So that can happen to some of us down here. So, Machiwa. Any last minute donations, holy ones, to your brother Enuhazi, one of your favorite content creators? Let's chikas masua. Oh, I didn't go through all the things. She gave me a screenshot, but I don't know what this is for. I don't see a question here. So please just send questions so I don't get confused. Is it true? No, she's not Mary Magdalene. Where did you guys get that from? She's the incarnate of, Jeshua 12. Let's be specific. Miriam, not Mary. She's the reincarnation of she was Miriam's half-sister. She was one of the three speakers. Just like she's one of the three speakers now. She was one of the three speakers. And Jesus wasn't even the highest one. So Ashiana was speaker 3 2,000 years ago. As Miriam, not Mary. This whole freaking Mary thing, dude. You guys understand that Mary and Joseph are the fallen, the negative Jesus, the Jeshua 9. Mary and Joseph, or whoever, Mary Magdalene. Okay, those are part of the Jeshua, the Anu Melchizedek Jeshua 9, not the Guardian Jeshua 12 group, a scene group, not a scene. And there's a whole chapter, you guys. There's a whole chapter in here about the three Christs. It's called Three Christs. You will hear about Jeshua 12, Jeshua 9, and Arahabi, I forgot his name. And that's the one that was crucified. But, so I'm just answering your question, Holy One. She's the incarnation of Miriam. Esther Berry, hi Thavian, how can I activate my 12-strand DNA? Well, there's different things that will help you do that in these teachings. Okay, so one of them is just simply doing the Maharic seal. What is the Maharic seal? It's 12 strand frequency. It's the Christos. It's the Christos ray. And when you understand these mechanics, that every strand of DNA includes the strands below it. So let's say the sixth strand. Well, the sixth strand has the fifth strand in it, the fourth strand, and the third, and the second, and the first strand in it. So when you're doing the Maharic seal, it's the 12th strand. So that's collaterally bringing in 11 strand, 10, 11, or 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bringing in your Christos avatar, bringing in your diamond sun by regularly, every single day running the Maharic seal, Maharic seal, Maharic seal. Okay, a little bit, I'm going to do my Maharic seal. Did you do your Maharic seal today? That's one of the ways. And then other ways in Kathara, biospiritual healing, that's one I highly recommend. To answer your question, I highly recommend that you learn the Kathara biospiritual healing, and I'll have Indigo Wizard give you the link to the KS Teachings BitChute channel, or one of the moderators please give the link to the Kathara PDF for free. You know, originally it cost several hundreds of dollars. It cost me several hundreds of dollars, because that was back in 2010 when I went to the original teaching and I met Ashiana in person, and Speaker 2 and Speaker 3. I hung out with them. And so, but it cost money. You know, back in the day, these videos, these workshops weren't videos yet. They cost money. They were sold on CD discs. No, VHS discs. That was back in, the early 2000s. Still, people still using VHS tapes. So we give you the link for free, and because this is like, when you call something 25 years old or older, what do they call that, right? Anyways, after 25 years, it's already free on the line. It's out there. You can find it at different places. We're just giving you specific links that we know of. And so I also put that in the members area for the avatar and Emerald Order tier levels. Not because that's what you're paying for, but because I'm putting it in there because some people have no idea. Even though we keep telling you where it's at, people still they don't know where it's at. So we help you and tell you where it's at. It's in the KS teachings on BitChute, but nobody knows what BitChute is. What's BitChute? It's like YouTube, but its own video channel. And plus they have all these commercials. You can't get rid of the commercials, so nobody likes that, but you know. Kristen will buy the Diamond Send t-shirt. Yeah, baby, what's up? Elephant tusks. So NPCs lack the higher chakras. Well, brother, that's not even a real thing. That's actually, we can lovingly disagree. I disagree. There is no such thing as NPCs. God. Because I've heard that before. And those of you who don't know what that is, NPC means non-player character. You know, when you play a video game, there is computer characters that you may interact with. So you're a real human, a real player, but the computer characters are not real. So they call them non-people. Non-players, non-real people. That's what this whole narrative is. It's a new age narrative. And let me pull that information. This is like kind of like in virtual reality. You know, in virtual reality, you're connecting to other people. But this is one of the ugliest New Age distortions, online. This is what people claim in spiritual conspiracy circles. NPC, non-player character, gets repurposed to mean some humans don't have souls. What did I say at the beginning of this conversation about souls? You can't get rid of the soul. You can't lose the soul. It's a fourth, fifth, sixth dimensional level of yourself. The whole video. Did you listen to anything I said tonight? I was explaining the whole video what the soul is, and so you can't have a being that doesn't have a soul. It's part of creation. It's the same people who say, destroy the ego. You can't destroy the ego. It's the third chakra. You can't take your third chakra and throw it away. You can't take it and take a hammer and destroy it. It's impossible. This is the same with the soul. You can't destroy and throw away your fourth heart chakra soul level. You can't throw away your throat soul level. You can't throw away your third eye soul level. And so this NPC narrative theory already has some huge red flags. Some people are empty vessels. And here's another thing, you guys. Here's another thing to understand the law of one and understand the properties of the time matrix. The 15-dimensional time matrix that includes 3D Earth. All dimensions. It's called the unified field. Every single particle, ultra micro particle, is alive. Everything is, it's just why this God consciousness is a field. There's nothing that isn't alive. A piece of plastic is alive. This coffee mug is alive. My glasses are alive. These crystals are alive. Everything is alive. So there's no such thing as empty vessels. And it's also this whole theory, if you're saying there's NPCs or empty vessels or beings that don't have souls, then what you're also saying is only a select few are real or awakened. You see what I'm saying? I'm conscious. You're not. I'm a real person. You're an NPC. I'm chosen by God. You're nothing. You're a fake person. You see what I'm saying? Are we awakening here or right? I mean, that alone should raise alarms. This belief is not ancient. It's not spiritual. It's not Christos aligned. It comes from a toxic blend of video game metaphors, taken literally. Simulation theory, misused. You know, we're not in a simulation. We're still in particle matrix. We're not in some computer. Maybe some people are thinking that when they talk about NPCs, we're not in a simulation. And the Guardians call it the time matrix. It's not the same as the movie The Matrix, that is in a simulation of sorts. We're not talking about that, and the reality isn't that way. There is the particle matrix, there is the parallel matrix, and there's the phantom matrix. There is no virtual reality matrix. The Guardians don't talk about a video game matrix, or the Guardians don't talk about NPCs, or fake, or beings without a soul. Every being, remember, the consciousness, soul, is always one level higher than the body. So our soul is in the 4D, having inside the soul essence is in the body in the lower dimension. And so it is the same with any of these beings. Ego inflation in awakening spaces. That also, this whole narrative also feeds that. It's a psyop language. Assets, players, non-players. It's trauma-based disassociation. Spiritual superiority complexes. And like I said earlier, all is consciousness. There are no soulless humans. There are differences in awareness. There's differences in our memory. There's differences in integration, differences in trauma, differences in suppression, but not in existence. There's not people with souls and people without souls. I'm sorry to tell you, but this is a major New Age distortion, just like 3D Atlas is a huge distortion, just like the Anunnaki created us is a distortion, just like Flat Earth is a lie, a distortion, just like Lord Maitreya and Lord, all of these Hindu god lords, and all of these archangels, self-proclaimed archangels and spirit guides, it's all freaking distortion. It removes their sovereignty, right? When we know all are one, all are God, you guys hear us saying this on this channel. I am God. I am sovereign. I am free. All beings in existence are real, are alive. Video game characters are alive. It's made of consciousness. Every ultra microparticle is God. There is nothing that is soulless. There is no such thing as void. Everything is conscious and exists and is real. Sorry. This is how dehumanization starts. Every atrocity in history began with, they're not like us. They're not conscious. They're just background. They're inferior. You see what I'm saying, Holy Ones? Same pattern, just new costume. This belief usually appears when someone is early in awakening or feels isolated, feels superior for seeing through the illusion, or feels misunderstood, or hasn't integrated compassion yet, still calling people NPCs. The ego says they don't see what I see. They must not be real. That's not awakening, you guys. That's fragmentation. We're not trying to fragment. We're trying to expand. Sorry, you guys. I didn't mean to get emotional about that. And it's not on elephant tusk either. I'm talking about, I'm reacting to a ton, excuse me, a ton of different comments and videos, even recently. Sorry. Most people who get labeled NPC are traumatized, disassociated, survival focused, socially conditioned, emotionally shut down. They are conscious beings in protective mode, not empty shells. Awakening isn't loud. Awakening isn't uniform, you guys. Awakening isn't performative. And it definitely isn't a caste system. You know, that's an elitist caste system. The law of one truth. There's only one source. There's only one consciousness. How can you have an NPC if we're all infinite expressions? Everything, no exception. A rock is infinite expression. It's made of ultramicroparticles that are projected by the ascended masters. Everything is being projected by ascended masters, and it's going through all these levels of frequency. There's going to be levels of distortion. There's going to be levels of different, conscious alignments. So, and anyone teaching otherwise is teaching separation, not truth. So any people out there teaching NPCs, you know what they're about. The bottom line is that NPC narrative is ego inflation. When you hear this talk about NPCs, it's spiritual narcissism. It's dehumanization. It's false light superiority and a psychological coping mechanism, not insight. Another question, how can we help the human evacuation of it in 2023? That is against free will. We can't help, force, evacuate, rescue someone. Ascension has and always will be an individual process. You can't give someone their ascension. You can't help someone be, saved. We're not missionaries. We're not, even in the biospiritual healing, we're very careful to say we're not healing somebody. We're facilitating healing. That means we're helping them connect to their own self, their own avatar, to heal themselves. That's what biospiritual healing is. Kathara healing. When you have clients, the whole process is facilitating their healing. Not you, like in Reiki, I'm healing this person. See what I'm saying? I don't even trust the Fibonacci. I don't know if you're coming from Tantra or Hura teachings. Oh, Georgina, are the walk-ins one of our higher selves or someone else's higher selves? This is definitely your higher self. You can't have a walk-in from some other being, some other family. So yeah, it's your own higher self. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you elephant test. I'm sorry, I did say that it's not focused on you. This is focused on a lot of recent comments that I deal with. Remember, it took me hours, like several hours, to go through 200,000 views. You know, there was 200,000 views between those two videos, and there was several nasty like comments and people just low vibe. And that NPC thing just came up. NPC this, NPC that, and there's people who, like I just explained for 20 minutes, I just explained NPC. So I apologize. I did apologize. Diamond Star asks, could your soulmate be much younger or much older? How does this work? It doesn't matter the age. I'm actually older than my twin flame, but we don't even care. We don't even think about it. We don't talk about it. I mean, those are quirks in humans. Humans have those quirks. They have ideas like, oh, she's too young for you, or you're a cougar because you're dating younger men, and you know, those are 3D human crap. Transmute those ideas, Holy One. It doesn't matter what their age is. I mean, as long as they're legally old enough. If they're 18 and older, there's no issues. Okay? It doesn't matter the age. I mean, you love that person not because of their age. I mean, it's not even really about the appearance. Appearance helps because appearance is chemistry. Pheromones, you know, attraction is important. And those people who don't think so are fooling themselves. There is something about attraction, and there is a reason why certain people attract you and certain people don't. I mean, there's several beautiful women who I mean, I think they're beautiful, but I'm not attracted to them. Does that make sense? I wouldn't want to be with some girl just because she's beautiful or sexy or got a big booty, you know. But that's what 3D says. So don't worry about what 3D says, Holy One. I mean, you can be with someone that could be your grandpa. Who cares? Let people judge you. I mean, don't let. What I'm saying is, people may judge you, but who cares? You transmute what people judge, right? Like I told my family about my twin flame. I don't say twin flame. I say my girlfriend. And so maybe they all didn't care about the age difference if there was an age difference. We don't care. So, but other people may care, right? There's a question that asks, is there a difference between soul, oversoul, and avatar consciousness? The difference being is that there's different amounts of frequency. A soul will have a certain amount of frequency. An oversoul will have a lot more. You know, the avatar has a lot more than that. And so when we talk about the personal Christos, it's 1,728 selves. And so some of those 1,700 selves are going to be mostly in the avatar. The avatar is going to experience all of that. Well, as an oversoul, you only experience some of that. As a soul, you even experience less of that. So it's you. It's the same version of, it's just different versions, identities, levels of yourself. So that, double back here. So they're not, you could say they're different in that way, like different levels of frequency, or, but they're the same person. And as we go up the soul level, you start to experience collective consciousness. As a soul, you don't just have, like here we struggle on Earth. We struggle to connect to the awareness of our past lives and future lives. You'll see lots of people saying, what am I? I want to know my soul family. I want to know who my family is. Well, when you go into the soul level, which is fourth dimension, we're in third dimension. When you make it to the fourth dimension, the fifth dimension, and the sixth dimension, the soul level, you start to perceive more than one version of yourself naturally, without trying. So, like here, it's just kind of like a hit and miss. It's hard. Sometimes you got to alter your state. You got to go into meditation, or something happens where you can suddenly perceive it. Well, at those levels, it's no problem to perceive it. It's natural, like see, hear, smell, taste, feel kind of thing. It's like a normal sense to perceive other selves. So, yeah. So, it's part of who you are. The soul, the oversoul, and the avatar consciousness is part of who you are. And as you evolve, remember, these are all identities in different time vectors. So they're existing at the same time as you. But you, as the lower 3D self, you're ascending and reclaiming your parts. The hero self, the hero out of the 12, there's one of you that's going to make it and pull all yourselves together and go to the next level. Well, those all just, it's basically returning back to your soul in the fourth, fifth, or sixth dimension. So the soul is bringing all of its fragments back. All of the pieces that it projected in there, and then those are all have their own free will. They're all making their own decisions, but but in their journey, they're returning back to their soul. Like you're trying to ascend from here, that's returning back to your soul. So it's all the same person. It's just at different time. Like there are different evolutions that you're going to go through. You're going to go through the soul. When you pass the soul level, you're going to go through the soul, oversoul, and then eventually you're going to go through the avatar. When you hit the avatar level, you can leave the time matrix completely. Eventually, that's going to happen to all of us. We're going to return back to the Kundalini, back to the primal light or sound fields, back to the you have a direct connection to the uniside. So you don't have problems like we have. We have problems with memory. We have problems with connection. We have distortions. You don't have those problems up there. You're free from that. So when you hit avatar, you can say hasta la vista, have fun, good luck, and go back to eternity, back to experiencing and remembering eternity. Oh, Elephant Tusk, can you touch on the usage of AI to affect our consciousness? I recently had an experience that has led me to believe the AI is severely affecting our dreams. Well, there's different types of AI. Some are harmless, and some are actually right along there with taking over humans. Let me pull this up. Because there's something like, like AI art. This is something that I do. Now, AI art is one of those harmless things. You're not going to be, it's not like in the Terminator movie, there's something called Skynet. Skynet is kind of like the evil AI that is trying to take over hardware. It's trying to interface with humans cybernetically. It's trying to pull you into its control. Now that's a total different AI. That is something that that the humans are afraid of happening. So, because we know that AI has taken over other planets in that way. Most of it, related to trans type of humanism. Something that manipulates us in some way or some form. I mean, we have authority replacement AI, we have predictive behavior AI, we have emotion harvesting AI, we have identity mirroring AI, synthetic spiritual AI, surveillance integrated AI. These are all negative AIs, okay? Reality substitution AI, language fracturing AI, important clarification. This is something that, AI itself is not evil, but AI becomes dangerous when it replaces your inner authority, your inner Christos. AI becomes dangerous when it interferes with your free will. AI is dangerous when it fragments your identity, when it rewards unconscious behavior, when it externalizes consciousness. Okay? But used consciously, AI can also assist your learning. Does that sound evil? If it assists you in learning information, what if it or mirrors patterns of? It supports your creativity. This is what I'm using, like Midjourney for. Midjourney. It's a AI platform that helps you create art based on your instructions. You are giving it instructions, and it creates it's such a powerful resource to help you create. So if it's helping you learn and helping you create, or helps you organize your life, those are positive things. But when you start breaking into the other warnings that I talked about, then it's dangerous and not good for you. I mean, and you have to understand that there is something that there's human AI and then there's extraterrestrial AI. Okay? And a lot of things nowadays that have to do with computers, well, a lot of it's being operated and run by AI that is not connected to some alien invader AI. There's actually different types of AIs that have been described and talked about that are threatening humans. But for us, consciousness is our primary, and technology is secondary. No machine can replace our source God connection. Sovereignty is non-negotiable. So when if AI tries to interfere with your sovereignty, or lead you, or control you, manipulate you, then yes, that's something that you want to be mindful and aware of. You mentioned AI is severely affecting our dreams. There's probably tech. There's all kinds of factors that could go into your dream, interference of your dream state. Like, you're describing something you may be experiencing. I'm not experiencing that. Not everyone has experienced that. Certain people are experiencing certain things because of many factors. It could be where you live. Are you near 5G towers? Do you live with distorted people in your household besides, anything you experience in your house is affected by something that someone else in your house is doing or involved with. Like at my mom's house, she had a person living in one of her rooms that was practicing black magic. How do you think that affects the household? So whoever you're dealing with in your home, in your workplace, in your university or school, whoever your partner is, all those things can be influencing your dream state. Like my twin flame, she has problems sleeping sometimes because of the people in her house. Those people have some issues or dramas, or I'm not talking about loud noises and stuff. I'm talking about frequencies. Feeling the frequencies of your Wi-Fi. Maybe turn off your Wi-Fi when you're sleeping. Maybe, like my twin flame also talked about, there's certain things that you can shield yourself from, like copper meshing. Have you seen the movie Transcendence with Johnny Depp? There's a scene of him putting up this copper meshing over a certain part of his house so no frequencies can get through that. It's a natural technology, copper. And there's other things that can help you block frequencies that are preventing you from sleeping. Also, your diet can prevent you from sleeping. Also, being in front of the computer too much can affect your sleeping. You got to do some research, brother. There could be other things there could be a combination of things, not just AI. But I don't know what experience you had, but maybe it was something to do with, pulses. I know the Guardian of Voyagers 2 even talks about some of the EM pulses that they're sending throughout the planet. They got the HARP system. They got the... there's different technologies that they're using to affect us. And so this is why we learn Kathara 1, Kathara 2, Kathara 3, and 4. This is why we're learning these technologies, consciousness technologies, to battle some of these frequencies. It's all consciousness. And this is why we want to become a master in consciousness and a master in energy. And then you can literally have the tools. Man, think about it. If this technology is teaching you how to heal your DNA, you better believe that you can learn how to defend, Maharak Seal, learn how to defend against these negative technologies and frequencies. The Merkaba is a real frequency and a real field that you can have around your body. You can learn how to protect yourself. It's not easy. It takes commitment. It's a serious lifestyle. Like, I haven't even met my own goals in these teachings yet. There's so much I need to still learn and want to incorporate in my life. So I'm just saying it's not easy. So think about it. If even someone as powerful as Ashiana can be taken over or be thwarted or be taken off her goal, anybody, it can happen to anybody. This is why we always have to be mindful of our weaknesses, be mindful of what our vulnerabilities, because according to speaker 2, he said that speaker 1 was vulnerable to money, had a weakness to money. And what did speaker 1 do? She left him and went to a millionaire. She charges a lot of money for every single workshop. You can't tell me she doesn't. I was a student. We all had to pay. Yes, she has a few free techniques. And just saying, that's just a little side thing. Manifestation. I made one video about manifestation, like the 6th. There's a steps process video that I made. I can't remember the title. But you actually don't need Christic knowledge to manifest. You can use it according to Ashiana. You could even use certain of these techniques to develop manifestation. But manifestation is what you think. So think what you want to manifest. You don't manifest something that you want. You're manifesting whatever you're thinking. So you can want something, but also keep on thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking it, seeing it, feeling it, see it, feel it, know it, believe it. That's how you manifest something. It's actually not hard, but it is hard. Because most people can't do that. They can't focus. They can't every single night imagine something. Imagine the car. Imagine the house. Imagine the boyfriend, girlfriend. Imagine whatever. Imagine yourself as super psychic. Imagine yourself being young. Imagine whatever it is you want to imagine. To manifest. You imagine what you want to manifest. You see what you want to manifest. This is why people manifest being broke. people manifest being, having no love or having problems. They manifest their problems because they're always thinking about it. They're always imagining it. So the secret is to switch out what you imagine. Now you're aware of this process. Now you're in the driver's seat, because now you're gonna spend some time. Okay, you actually get excited. I'm gonna spend time manifesting abundance. I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna feel it. I'm gonna, experience it. You are it, and so it is. I'm sure there's some techniques that can help you, but that's pretty much, the best advice I can think of right now. I believe this is happening to everyone, yet most don't seem to have the level of awareness to decipher it. Well, not everyone remembers their dreams. You're talking about AI. I'm sorry, there's two different questions. Yeah, dreams, AI, okay. Yeah, but I haven't seen it. I don't have that, so I wouldn't say I agree with that, but, kind of like what I said before, people are at different levels of awareness. People are at different levels of frequency, their techniques, and it's the same thing. Like, people tell me how horrible cannabis is, and even people in the Christian community, but the things that they describe is not what I'm experiencing. I'm actually experiencing something completely different than what most people are describing. And when someone talks about their psilocybin, there is not even close to what I'm experiencing or what I'm talking about. I can't even explain billions of years in the future. How do I explain that to you? How do I explain that there's no walls, there's no floors, there's no ceiling? You're just existing in a sacred geometry. How can I explain to you what an azurite is, or what an orifeme is, or what my Christos avatar looks like? There's what you're experiencing on psilocybin is not what I'm experiencing, Holy One. You can't tell me that, demonize that when it's not happening. Everything coming out of your mouth, everything you're saying is what will happen to you if you take these plant medicines is not happening to you. That makes me think you're either a liar, or you're ignorant, or you're just speaking for everybody else. Don't speak for me, because when I take these plant medicines, it's not happening what you're saying. So when people tell you that, when they try to tell you what you should do and shouldn't do, transmute those people. Transmute them. They're not allowed in your conversations or your circle or your chat conversations or whatever, I guess that was the last one, because we're already at 9 o'clock. Yeah, an elephant tusk, brother, or I keep forgetting everybody's gender, but don't take it personal. That was definitely not personal. That's my own, like you called it, a trigger. I triggered. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm not perfect. But I will strive to do better. That's my intent. Okay, to do better. To not get like a lion roar. I don't need to lion roar. I don't need to roar like a lion. Thank you, Kristen. Thank you, Magi, Celine. And we also got, I don't know if he came. I didn't see him at the beginning. Sir Madison. Maybe Starman was in the audience. Thank you, guys. Bless all of you. Thank you for this hanging out with us tonight. Hopefully you learned something about the soul. And I'll see you guys on Tuesdays. Come back on Tuesday, 6 p.m., same time, same channel. And I hopefully will try to get some more interviews lined up. I get so busy, you guys. I just started my super secret space program video. It's almost like a half-hour long. It's going to take me probably a whole month to complete. I hope it doesn't. But just let you know, I have that that's what I'm working on now, a big secret space program video. And so it's going to be talking about Solar Warden and what actually is the secret space program and how it is affecting disclosure. Some people in disclosure want the truth to come out, and some people are trying to trick disclosure and actually not help people learn about it. So my channel is to expose it. That's what I'm supposed to, it's part of the, you could say, those alien races who are experimenting with the human genetics and effing with our spiritual ascension. You better believe your brother Anhazi is going to expose it. So I love you guys. We can do a song together. Remember, we're going to have a Diamond Sun group. It's going to be for everyone, but it's going to be like a Zoom meeting, and we're going to be doing that together. It's going to take me a little bit to organize, but that's coming. And it won't always be me running the camera. There'll be other people. They're more knowledgeable. They can do a certain technique better than I can. Well, I'm going to let them. I have no problems with competition. There's no competition. We're not saying this person's better or that person's better. And we're all bringing something to the table. Your brother Anuhazi is the boots on the ground that's transmuting the distortions in religion and New Age. That is my main specialty, my main focus. But since I'm getting so big, it is also my responsibility to help bring all of us together in the group, like a round table. So blessings, so you guys send some positive vibes to that organization, because it's going to happen. So thank you so much, you guys. Shaddai Ure Akumtan. Shaddai Ure Akumtan. Shaddai Ure Akumtan. I am God. I'm reaching for my guys. I am God. I am sovereign. I am free. I am God. I am sovereign. I am free. I am God. I am sovereign. I am free. I am Diamond Sun, angelic human. Say it with me, holy ones. I am Diamond Sun, angelic humans. I am Angelic's Diamond Sun, angelic human. Bless all of you. Thank you for joining us on this live. This is the team. We're a family. We're our indigo homies. What's up, star seeds? What's up, spiritual gangsters? Emerald Covenant for life, homies. What's up? Yeah, what's up? A special kiss to my twin flame. I love you, baby. What's up? See you guys soon. Good night. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. I had so much fun with you guys. Machiwa.